from the invisible veils of time, the call of truth forever echoes in the heart of the awakening longing. Look to the light, where truth is everlasting. The Himalayas, the majestic mountain that rises high in the sky, which is considered the roof of the world, has long been a symbol of sacredness and mystery. The legend of Mahavatar Babaji is still as vivid as an undying flame, passed down through generations. People say that the Himalayas, where Babaji, the immortal guru, often appears to guide souls who yearn for truth. Those who are lucky enough to come to this land with reverence can feel his presence, like a stream of pure energy spreading throughout space. An old woman in the village, who has lived all her life under the shadow of a sacred mountain, once said, "Babaji is not a legend. He is a living light. He appears when the world needs it, when people need love and healing. Hear every wind, the tops of each tree are like preserving his voice. Those who really thirst for the truth, if they listen deeply enough, this mountain will answer." She added that there are quiet nights, when the light from the oil lamps dances to the whispers of the wind, and some people have sensed Babaji's presence. They saw the figure of a young, passionate teacher who appeared only to say a few words or lay his hands on aching hearts, and then disappeared as if he had never been there. Mystical encounter with Babaji. Babaji does not belong to a specific era or space. He is a timeless presence, appearing over the centuries to lead souls seeking enlightenment. Encounters with Babaji are often life-changing, leaving an indelible mark. The story of Babaji and Lahiri Mahasaya. A story recorded by Paramahansa Yogananda in the autobiography of a yogi tells of Lahiri Mahasaya's encounter with Babaji in the Himalayas. Lahiri, who was an ordinary official at the time, was summoned by Babaji, who recognized him as a disciple from many previous lives. Babaji imparts to Lahiri the technique of Kriya Yoga, and proves his immortality by disappearing and appearing right before Lahiri's eyes in a way that cannot be explained by reason. Babaji says, "I'm here to show you that the body is just a tool. True life lies in the mind, not bound by time or space." This miracle reminds us that existence is not only limited to the physical world, but also extends to endless spiritual dimensions. At that time, Lahiri was feeling disoriented in life. Babaji told him, "You don't have to go far to find peace. Look at yourself. I have carried the truth with me since I was born." Babaji taught Lahiri Kriya Yoga and told him to bring it to the world. In his book Autobiography of a Yogi, Yogananda relates that Babaji appeared during one of his meditations and said, "I sent you into the world to bring the light of Kriya Yoga. Remember, all your efforts are guided by me." This encounter became a powerful motivation for Yogananda to spread Kriya Yoga to the West. Babaji often emphasizes that every encounter is an opportunity to learn and grow. Speaker. Every moment in life carries a lesson. Stay sober so you don't miss anything. Mahavatar Babaji teaches that enlightenment is not a distant state, reserved only for sages or masters, but is the nature of every soul. Speaker. You don't have to go far to find the truth. The truth is within you, waiting for you to wake up and realize it. According to Babaji, enlightenment is not an escape from life, but a complete integration into life with a conscious consciousness and unconditional love. It doesn't require you to give up the world, but rather to give up ignorance, the illusions of ego, ambition, and fear. Core principles of Babaji's philosophy of enlightenment. Babaji teaches that you are not this body, nor this mind. You are an immortal soul, an infinite light, not limited by time or space. Man, according to Babaji, has a great potential, the ability to recognize one's true nature. The body is only a tool for the soul to experience life, the mind is only a means of thinking. But deep inside, man is the expression of cosmic consciousness, a ray of God. Enlightenment is the realization that you are not detached from the universe. Babaji says, You are part of the ocean of cosmic consciousness. When you realize this, you will no longer feel lonely because you have returned home. Babaji emphasizes that enlightenment begins with living fully in the present moment. Teacher, the present is the door to freedom. When you live in the present, you are free from the shackles of the past and worries about the future. The past is just a shadow, the future is an illusion. The present is the only reality where you can find peace and enlightenment. The modern world often pushes us into a relentless cycle, keeping us busy with old memories or anxiety about things that haven't happened yet. Babaji's message reminds us that only by living fully in the present can we truly feel the meaning of life. Be alert in every moment, and you will see the truth in every simple thing. Mindfulness is a state in which you are no longer caught up in the thoughts, emotions, and circumstances around you. Instead, you become a calm observer, clearly aware of everything that is going on. Mindfulness not only helps you see reality clearly, but it also helps you connect with cosmic energy where every answer already exists. The power of stillness. Babaji once said, "Stillness is the language of the universe. In stillness, you will hear the voice of your soul." One day, I sat by the peaceful river at the foot of the mountain, listening to the sound of running water. No need for music, no need for words, just presence. For the first time, I felt a deep stillness pervading my mind, as if all my worries and chaotic thoughts had disappeared. Practice silence. Choose a quiet space. You don't have to go to high mountains or deep forests. A small corner in the house, a park near the house is enough. Turn off all electronic devices. Don't let noise from the outside world interrupt this precious moment. Listen only, listen to your breathing, heart rate, or natural sounds around you. Spend at least 10 minutes a day practicing stillness. This is the first step for you to feel Babaji's presence in your mind and heart. God is love. Love is the core of enlightenment. Babaji says, "When your heart is full of love, you will see the light in everything." Enlightenment is not a state of mind, but a state of an open heart. Unconditional love does not distinguish between right and wrong, good and bad, but simply accepts and tolerates everything as they are. Babaji's central message is unconditional love. Love is not only for humans, but also for every living thing, every life on this planet. He believes love is the most powerful energy in the universe. When your heart is full of love, nothing can hurt you. A disciple's story. Once, a disciple came to Babaji, expressing his resentment at being treated unfairly by others. Babaji said quietly, "Forgive me." When you forgive, you not only liberate others, but also yourself. The disciple decided to follow Babaji's words. Over time, he felt relief and happiness from letting go of resentment. Babaji also emphasized the role of compassion in healing relationships and the world around us. Speaker. The world doesn't need more judgment. It needs love and understanding. Spread love through small actions. Start with something as simple as smiling at a stranger, helping someone in need, or taking the time to listen to someone. Meditation on compassion. In meditation, imagine a warm light emanating from your heart, spreading to everyone, every living being. Developing the soul through selfless service. Enlightenment lies not only in awareness, but also in action. Babaji teaches that every act of selflessness is a step on the path to enlightenment. When you serve others, you are serving your own soul. He encourages us not to live only for ourselves, but to share and serve the community. It is said that one day, Babaji met a poor farmer who was always willing to help his neighbors. Babaji told him, "Your wealth does not lie in wealth, but in your big heart. Keep sharing, and you'll get more than you think. That farmer, despite living a simple life, has become an inspiration for the whole village. Babaji-related mantras. A commonly mentioned mantra is Om Babaji Namah. Om is the sound of the universe, the energy that originates all life. Babaji is His Majesty's title, representing love, wisdom, and immortality. Namah means bow down and bow down. When you chant this mantra with reverence, it activates spiritual energy, brings peace, enlightenment, and guides you on the path to enlightenment. How to chant Babaji's name. Choose a quiet space, sit where you feel comfortable and not be disturbed. Deep breathing, relax your mind, focus on your breath in preparation for chanting. Chanting with reverence. Repeat the mantra Om Babaji Namah or simply call him by his name, Babaji. Let each thought spread through your mind and merge with your heart. Imagine Babaji in front of you, the light from him enveloping and healing you. Babaji is described in the autobiography of a yogi. He is not far away. As long as you call on his name with sincerity, his presence will be felt in your heart. Transforming the self through the teachings of Mahavatar Babaji. Mahavatar Babaji often emphasizes that the ego is not an enemy, but a natural part of human beings that needs to be understood and transformed. Teacher. The ego is like a shadow. It only exists when you turn your back on the light of truth. When you turn to the light, the darkness will dissipate on its own. What is the ego? According to Babaji, the ego is not a fixed entity, but an accumulation of thoughts, feelings, and the false belief that humans are the center of the universe. It is formed through experience, habitat, and identification with roles, titles, or achievements in life. Babaji says, the ego is the mask you wear to survive in this world. But don't let it obscure your true nature, for you are not the mask, but the light behind it. Babaji teaches that the ego is not bad, but that excessive identification with the ego is the root of suffering. When you're controlled by your ego, it's easy to get caught up in feelings of comparison, competition, low self-esteem, or arrogance. The ego makes people. Fear of failure or losing what you own. Always seek recognition from others rather than from yourself. Moving away from the higher consciousness and forgetting that we are part of the universe as a whole. How to transform the ego. Babaji does not teach us to get rid of the ego because it is neither necessary nor feasible. Instead, he emphasizes the transformation of the ego by recognizing and transcending it. Self-identification. When your child feels hurt, insulted, stop and ask yourself, who is hurting? It's my ego, not the real me. Observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, recognizing when your ego is controlling you. Living with a higher mind. Babaji teaches that the higher consciousness is beyond the scope of the ego. When you live with love, forgiveness, and altruism, you are expanding your consciousness beyond the ego. Speaker. Act for the common good, not to reinforce the ego. In service, you will find freedom. Immerse yourself in the universe. One of the most powerful ways to overcome the ego is to realize that you are not separate from the universe. Babaji says, the ego says, I am separate. The mind says, I am part of everything. Let the cosmic consciousness dissolve all the limits that the ego has erected. Babaji encourages meditation as a method of observing and calming the ego. Speaker. When you sit in silence, your ego will gradually lose its strength. In stillness, you will see your true self, a pure, unfettered soul. Babaji advises that love your ego as a stubborn child. When you understand it, accept it, and gently direct it to the light, it will no longer be a shackle, but become a tool for you to learn and grow. Understanding the ego through Babaji's teachings is an important step on the journey to enlightenment. When the ego no longer controls you, your heart and mind will open to the light of freedom and union with the universe. One of Babaji's most important lessons is his ability to transform negative energy into positive power. People often say, suffering is part of the journey. But if you know how, you can turn suffering into strength to move on. The story of the suffering person who came to Babaji. There was a woman who was grieving the loss of a loved one who came to Babaji. She cried and asked, "Why does God take away the people you love?" Babaji looked at her with compassionate eyes and said, "God does not take away anyone. He only invites them home, and I am here to learn how to love without strings attached. Let that love be your guiding light." The woman, after talking to Babaji, found peace in her soul. Negative energy metabolism practices. Keep a journal, write down your negative feelings, and then write a positive message to replace them. Meditation with light. In meditation, imagine that the negative energy within you is transformed into a bright light, radiating throughout your body and mind. Living in harmony with nature. Babaji emphasized, humans are not separated from nature. Life is part of the universe rather than against it. Our time is facing an environmental crisis, from climate change to biodiversity loss to pollution. Babaji reminds us that our life depends on balance and harmony with nature. Babaji not only teaches about healing the soul, also emphasizes the close relationship between humans and nature. He believes that nature is the most powerful source of healing energy. Every mountain, river, and wind is a manifestation of God. When you are in harmony with nature, you are in harmony with the cosmic consciousness. Stories from the mountains. It is said that Babaji often appears on high mountain peaks, where nature is at its most unchecked. He asks his disciples to spend time in the midst of nature to feel peace and reconnect with themselves. Babaji encourages us to regularly connect with nature to find balance and pure energy. Here is a simple method for you to practice. Choose a natural space, find a peaceful place, a forest, a river, or just a small garden. Let yourself be completely integrated into that space. Breathe with nature, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Imagine that you are inhaling energy from the soil, plants, and air so that it fills your body. Touching Mother Earth, walking barefoot on the ground, feeling the energy from the ground transmitting to you, as Babaji teaches. The earth is the mother who supports all sentient beings. When you touch the ground, you are touching your own divine being. Listen to nature, be still, and listen to the sound of the wind, birds, and flowing water. This is a way for you to feel the harmony between nature and yourself. Gratitude, ending by thanking nature, to heaven and earth, and to the universe for nourishment, protection, and the peace you receive. Babaji reminded that when you connect with nature, you not only find healing, but you also see yourself in every leaf, every wind. Breath, the bridge that brings you to God. The breath is an important part of the practice of Kriya Yoga and is also central to Babaji's philosophy. He taught, the breath is the connection between the body and the soul. When you master the breath, you master the life. A disciple once asked Babaji, "Master, how can you keep your mind calm in the midst of the busyness of life?" Babaji replied, "Let's go back to the breath. Every breath is a prayer, a connection between me and God." As I applied this, I realized that breathing not only helped me stay calm, but it also helped me feel the presence of divine energy within myself. Purifying breath practice guide. Choose a quiet space, sit comfortably in an undisturbed place. Keep your back straight, shoulders relaxed. Focus on breathing, close your eyes, bringing your attention to the flow of breath in and out through your nose. When you inhale, imagine that you are breathing in the pure light, the energy of life. As you exhale, imagine that you are releasing all your anxiety, stress, and negative energy. Breathing rhythm regulation. Inhale for a 4-second count, hold your breath for 4 seconds, and exhale for 6 seconds. Continue to repeat this beat, feeling the peace in each breath. Connect to the power source. Babaji teaches that the breath is not only the flow of air, but also the flow of cosmic energy, prana. As you breathe, visualize the flow of energy moving along your spine, activating the chakras, and illuminating your mind. Finish with gratitude. After a few minutes of practice, take one last deep breath, retain a sense of peace in your heart, and silently thank Babaji and the divine energy for guiding you. Babaji emphasized, when you master your breath, you master your mind. And when your mind is at peace, you will see your true self, the light, the love, the eternity. Purification. Kriya Yoga, the bridge to liberation. Kriya Yoga is not only a practice, but also central to Babaji's teachings. This is considered the key to help people open the door to enlightenment. Babaji is said to have restored Kriya Yoga, an ancient practice that has been taught by masters for generations. He passed on this method to Lahiri Mahasaya, and from there, Kriya Yoga spread throughout the world through disciples such as Sri Yukswar and Paramahansa Yogananda. Kriya Yoga focuses on controlling breathing, helping the practitioner regulate the flow of energy inside the body. Babaji explains that the breath is the link between the body and the soul. When you control your breathing, you control your mind, and when your mind is at peace, you will hear the voice of God. This method consists of a series of techniques such as pranayama. Conditioned breathing carries energy along the spine, helping to clear the energy channels, nadis. Meditation, focusing on a point to calm down and be in tune with cosmic consciousness. Self-observation, understand the nature of thoughts and emotions, thereby letting go of negative attachments. Babaji emphasizes that Kriya Yoga not only provides spiritual benefits, but also improves physical and mental health. Release stress and anxiety. Kriya Yoga helps to release negative energies, bringing relaxation and peace. Activate energy centers. This practice helps to unlock the chakras, releasing the hidden potentials within. Healing from within. Kriya Yoga helps restore the natural balance of the body and mind. Mahavatar Babaji's spiritual miracles are not only a testament to Babaji's presence, but also inspire us about our ability to transform our lives through faith and spiritual practice. One of Babaji's most famous miracles is immortality. Babaji does not belong to a specific era or space. He is a timeless presence, appearing over the centuries to lead souls seeking enlightenment. Babaji imparts to Lahiri the technique of Kriya Yoga, and proves his immortality by disappearing and appearing right before Lahiri's eyes in a way that cannot be explained by reason. Babaji says, I'm here to show you that the body is just a tool. True life lies in the mind, not bound by time or space. The miracle of healing with love. He taught, love is the most powerful medicine, transcending all limitations of body and mind. A blacksmith living in a small village near the Himalayas has been suffering from chronic back pain for years. He heard about Babaji's presence in the area and decided to pray, even though he had never met him. One night, in a dream, he saw Babaji put his hands on his back and said, My pain is just a lesson. Forgive yourself and others, and you will be free. When I woke up, the back pain was gone. He felt at peace and began a new life, full of gratitude. Babaji's healing power is not only limited to the physical space, but also spreads through the consciousness and faith of those who turn to him. The miracle of liberation from karma. Babaji teaches that karma is not a shackle, but an opportunity for you to learn and grow. A wealthy merchant came to Babaji, expressing that he was always haunted by guilt for hurting many people on his journey to riches. Babaji looked at him with compassionate eyes and said, "You can't change the past, but you can master the present. Use your wealth to help others, and your karma will be purified." The merchant listened, building schools, hospitals, and supporting the impoverished community. His life became a relief, and he felt true joy for the first time in many years. The miracle of embodiment to guide. Babaji has the ability to appear anywhere when necessary, to guide those who are on the verge of despair or mistake. A young scientist studying energy and consciousness has gone through a period of doubt and depression, feeling disoriented in both work and personal life. In a dream, Babaji appeared, dressed in a white robe, and said to him, "The energy you are studying is not for control, but for harmony. Let your mind settle down, and you will understand the answer." When he woke up, the scientist felt clarity in his thoughts. He continues his work with a new perspective, discovering useful applications that improve people's lives. Honoring human values. Mahavatar Babaji once said, "Man is not just a physical body. Man is a ray of God, a connection between heaven and earth. When your soul awakens, you will see your true beauty, transcending all the limitations of form. The beauty of a spiritual person does not lie in the appearance, but in the inner light that radiates from a loving heart, from a serene mind, and from actions that come from altruism." Babaji teaches that every human being is a flower in the garden of the universe, created to spread the fragrance of love, enlightenment, and compassion. Babaji celebrates the uniqueness of each individual, emphasizing that true beauty is not perfection, but sincerity and harmony with one's inner divine nature. When you live mindfully, you become a person who lights the way for others. When you love unconditionally, you become a fresh stream, nourishing every soul that desires. When you overcome your fears and discover yourself, you are not only more beautiful in the eyes of others, but you are also an inspiration to the entire universe. Babaji often says, "Look into the eyes of someone who is loving, and you will see the universe smiling." Spiritual beauty not only brings meaning to life, but it is also a gift that each of us can give to the world. When we live true to Babaji's teachings, we become the embodiment of healing, of peace, and of love. When you feel a deep connection to your heart's energy, mutter or say affirmations. "I am love. I am the light. My heart is full of love, and I spread this love to people. I accept and love myself as I am." I invite you, in moments of silence, to try to sit down and listen to your breath. Remember, Babaji is always with you, as a guiding light in the darkness. The truth is not in a distant place. It's in your heart, waiting for you to come back. Please share this article, spreading the message of love and enlightenment. And don't forget, we can always learn more in the next lessons. Namaste.